Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Voices of Western, the Human of Western podcast. If you're new, welcome. This is a podcast where we dive deeper into the personal lives of students, staff, faculty, and alumni here on Western campus. So, my name is Rose, and this is my co-host, Emmanuel.
Hello.
Hello. So today's topic is quite an interesting one. It's adulting. So let's dive right into it.
Lots to get into, truly. I feel like being thrown into university right after you turn 18 is hefty thing to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think right when we move into university, you don't feel it as much because you're in res and res kind of takes care of you with the food, the living situation. You don't really have
yeah,
to stress much. It's after first year, I think is when.
yeah. Right after first, you're like, oh, there's so much I have to get done, which I have to like look through it, make sure I'm
Mhm.
doing properly.
Exactly.
Um, I think like after, I don't know, I think at the end of the first year, my first year, I was like, oh, I have to do like taxes properly. How am I gonna get that done at all? Um, and I'm figuring that out again now, whereby I forget I acknowledge taxes whenever I'm paying for something like, oh, 13%, I guess. I move on. But like to file taxes in March is always like an, oh yeah, that's the thing I have to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly sometimes forget about it and then I see like a story on Instagram and it's like, hey, remember to do your taxes. I'm like, okay,
That's a
gotta
good
do it.
point. That's a good point. I should get to those. I'm really glad that like there are lots of free services for them. I know like Western USC has their tax lytic and I guess TurboTax and maybe H&R Block. I'm not really sure what that is really, but I know that they have tax things specifically, and so I'm glad that those exist because otherwise I really would not be aware.
Mm-hmm.
Taxes.
Truly. Honestly, my main reminder is like my mom calling me. She's like, remember you have to do taxes. I'm like, okay, got it.
It's fair.
So
Yeah, that's definitely helpful. I think my dad texts me every once in a while, be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is coming up," but I wouldn't really know when it was
Mhm.
until like I saw a story on the screen, be like, oh yeah, I should make sure I put my dad's text about organizing this. Do you do them by yourself?
No. So my family has an accountant, so I just give them all the receipts and then they just handle everything. So luckily,
Honestly, we're keeping accountants in business. I think it's really good of us. Um, Making sure that they have something to do every March.
Mhm.
Influx. I do not do my tax myself either. I'm pretty sure I use TurboTax, although because I get emails from them right now, and I'm not like I don't remember signing up for these, but I assume I did taxes that way.
Mhm.
Um, I either did it with them and forgot, or my dad did them for me and I also forgot, but used my email for some reason.
Mhm.
Either way, they were done in the past, and I need to get to them hopefully soon.
Yeah,
Hopefully soon. Yeah,
I'm
just
sure
build
you'll get
time.
to
I, I really hope so.
it. Yeah. So I guess we did touch upon like res and like moving out. So what are the thoughts on that?
I feel like I didn't have to move out of res because I had my first year in the pandemic, but like moving out was definitely the another large financial like struggle to reckon with after first year. I was like, oh, to find somewhere to live, and I truly I think that like it was. I always just I think in after first year I like went really early to find somewhere to live because I was like I want to make sure I'm not like on the streets in September. I don't think I could survive that way. Um, my two requirements for myself when I was moving out because I don't have a car. Um,
Mhm.
like I need to be in walking distance to a grocery store because it is really embarrassing to carry groceries in a bus and then like sit there. especially like as a student, if you're like leaving Costco at like I don't go to Costco. If you're leaving like the Costco or like
Bulk.
Metro, and like you're bulk buying, you have like 5 bags in each hand, and you're like sitting in a bus that is full because it's obviously full because you're just university.
Yeah.
It's nightmare. So I lived like right behind a metro in my second year. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, good for
But
you. I I also am walking distance to a grocery store. I don't think that was in my um on like my checklist for places to live. I think the main one was rent, how
that
much
makes
it
sense.
was,
That makes
and
sense.
if it's not crumbling, the structure of the house, like it's in good shape. I
Hmm,
think those were my top two things for
that's
sure.
fair. Were you okay? I don't mean to sound like I am financially stable at all. I was just really worried about getting groceries. Were you like looking for a house or an apartment when you're moving out of res?
In first year, initially, I was looking at apartments, and then they were quite expensive. They were like over $1,000 per. I don't even know the price at this point, but it was like above 1,000, and I was like,
Yeah.
I needed a roommate, and then that would split it to like 700-ish, 750. That was kind of expensive. And then my friends that I met in first year was like, "Do you want to join our house?" And I'm like, "Yes." It was so much cheaper. Um, it was in the 500 range. So,
Ooh,
yeah. So I joined her house and I was like, "Yes, I am in." And the house was decent. So,
decent.
decent. It was small, but I had the biggest room, well, one of the biggest rooms in the house. I was like, "Slay. It's
Yeah,
fine."
winning truly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like my first year, I was my parents are very much you don't need to live with a roommate. So I lived alone, and that was not a financially sound decision to make. Um, but I did that. It was okay, and then I moved away and live with a roommate now in an apartment still because it's nice not having to take care of anything outside of my room. I think that like if I had to like maintain a sidewalk and like shovel every winter, I think I would drop out really fast or move away. I just don't think it's too much to do. Too much to do. So luckily I have not had to do that. I
I
guess
still don't do that. And
that
I live in it. But
does
yeah.
somebody have to in the house?
No, no, we don't. Cause well, at least I don't. I don't have a car, so um at least in second year, no one owned a car, I don't think. So all we did was put salt in like the walkway, or
Yeah,
we just shoveled where we're walking. Nowhere else.
yeah. I don't have to do that because the landlords, the property managers do it for me.
Hmm.
Every day I open the door, I'm like, oh, it's not full of snow. That's amazing, and I can go to class. Um,
The luxury you have.
truly, it's whatever I'm paying for. I think that like rent is definitely the biggest thing coming out of my budget. Unfortunately, I think that's I am not. I would love to be a budget person. I'd love to be a budget person with like a whole like book. I'm like, okay, I paid this much for this. I should spend max 500 on whatever and whatever else. Unfortunately, that requires me to sit down and think about it, and I don't like thinking, so it hasn't happened yet. One day maybe, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I just think it's too much work. Like we already have so many assignments to do and like studying in general to add the stress of like budgeting. At least I don't do it.
Yeah,
Pers-
I think I've heard of people who do it now. I think it's just it requires so much management. I don't. It's not even like about like
Mm,
holding your. I think
kind of.
it's not necessarily holding yourself accountable. It's just like keeping track of things. But that's so much work. That's so much
Yeah.
like oh, going back. Not that I spend it like a lot every day, but like having to look back and be like, oh, I guess I did spend money on this thing, and then writing it down. It's like I that's like time out of my day where I could probably be working on stats assignments that I'm putting off.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think that like would help me in regulating though. I think I if I ever like decide to sit down and budget, I will hopefully benefit from it. I don't think there's any like thing to lose. I just think it's a thing of time. It sounds like a thing to start in the summer. Like you go into summer, you're like, oh, I'm not spending money on anything anymore. And then we just keep track on all the little things. And like when school starts again, you're like, oh, okay, I can just track this little by little, and
Hmm.
hopefully it works out.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah. For me, everything's just a surprise. Like in the end, when I look at how much I have to pay back, like for the credit cards and stuff, I'm like, oh,
Oh
I
yeah,
spent so much.
that's crazy. That's so crazy. I think like um I think I tend to justify like large expenses in my credit card. I'm like, oh, I guess I did do that thing last month, but there's no way I'm doing that again. There's no way I'm spending like $600 in a hotel. Like it's not gonna happen like ever again in the next month. Then I look the next month and I'm like, oh, I spent that $600 somewhere else. That's oh, that's no wonder it's remaining that same high credit bill every month. I I don't know who let me get a credit card. I think it was a bad choice on them.
I'm the same way. I think in like at least first semester this year, I looked at like my credit card payment every single month. I was like, I'm gonna make this a lower number next month. No, it's like in within the same range. And I'm like, what am I even spending my money on? Like at this point, like I don't understand. But turns out it's food. Food takes a
Oh, yeah.
big chunk.
Yeah, that's dangerous. I think that like going to campus is dangerous for that, truly. If I'm ever like, I'm gonna be here all day and I didn't think about that the night before, I've already lost. There's no winning. If I did not like plan to be on campus all day, and I go to campus, I'm like, oh, I do have to be here all day. I am losing at the least $30 because I will get hungry really fast. Um,
Mhm.
I have a lot of like morning classes, so it's impossible to like, not impossible. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna wake up at like 6 to make myself a lunch and then pack it and take it for my 9 o'clock class.
Mhm.
Um, I have gotten into the habit of like cooking a lot more. Um, this morning actually, I did just I didn't lie, but I have at 11:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and on Mondays and Wednesdays I have like a 9 o'clock class. Um, and to save myself the stress, I have my alarm set for the same time every day. That way I don't have to be like adjusting my schedule every other day to like recognize, oh, it's Tuesday, I should not. And so I like wake up at the same time, spend like an hour on my phone on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Thursdays. But today I had a friend over. I had no hand over. She was here on the show a couple days, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, and we made breakfast together. We made baba ganoush and fool, which is I think eggplant dish and a bean dish dips for like pitas, and that was fun.
Mhm.
I think like my way of escaping um buying food on campus or just like overspending on like individual meals is to cook with friends because that way I'm hopefully splitting the cost of whatever it is I'm making and then having leftovers
Mhm.
and just surviving off of those. I think it's really, really fun.
Yeah. I think cooking at home definitely is much, much cheaper. Um, I've always loved cooking, but I think just when school's happening, I don't have the motivation to cook. But lately I've been in my cooking era. So
Ah, I love that for you, truly.
um,
I don't, my cooking era has been a while now, unfortunately. I think I always forget that I enjoy cooking until I make a big deal out of it.
mhm,
Um, I think that like I don't do groceries that often, unfortunately. I think I'll run out of something and be like, oh, I don't why don't I have any more of this? I feel like I should. And then I go get it individually that. And I end up buying more things. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess while I'm here, I might as well get other things for this thing.
yeah.
Um, but when I am like when I plan to cook something with a friend, I'm like, oh, here's this ingredient list, and I need to get all these things in this ingredient list, and I might as well go shopping as well because otherwise I'm probably not going to go grocery shopping for another while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that like you can get all the groceries you need for like a week's worth of meals for the same price as 2 meals on campus. So it's a lot better. It's a lot better to prep your own food. It takes a lot of time, but
Yeah.
if you make it like an activity, make it a day of it, you can have a really good time.
Mm-hmm. I know some students do meal prep. I don't do that, but it's helpful.
It
So I
would be
hear.
helpful. It would be helpful. I
Yeah.
think that like I like having the same. I like flipping between 2 or 3 meals every week. That way, I'm not like no mind. I think I had to go somewhere every morning for a week, and so I bought like butter tarts so
Mm.
that I would like just take one really fast and then go to work. I was like, oh, this is breakfast essentially, and then I don't. Then lunch was whatever I had in the fridge, really. But like I think if you can eliminate like one meal with like one thing, breakfast doesn't need to be different every day. I think breakfast, I can eat the same thing every morning. That's not a problem. I can like change. I will change a lunch if because otherwise I'd be like, I don't really want to have this again, especially on campus, and I lose money anyway. So
Mm-hmm. I think lunch and dinner definitely, I need variety
yeah.
for sure. Um, but yeah, on campus, it's when I buy food, I use my student card because I still have flex money
Ooh,
left. Is that what it's
yeah.
called? Flex?
The flex dollars? I think so.
Yeah, I have flex dollars left. So I just use my student card for everything. So it feels like I'm not spending money.
That's
It's
how they get
dangerous.
you.
It's
It feels
very,
like you're not spending money.
yeah.
I
I don't
like
know if
the
anyone relates, but like it's not good.
For me, that's the equivalent of like buying a $500 gift card and being like, yeah, it's basically free money. I just bought it already, so it's already there. I might as well use the gift card, which is true. But I think that like it ends up being kind of budgeting. Although I feel like are you checking how much you have left all the time?
No.
Okay, well
Maybe when I
then,
remember, I'm like, I need to make sure I don't have like $1 left, so it's not embarrassing when I'm
yeah, that's fair.
swiping hard. But I'm actually pretty happy that I still have money left since first year.
Oh,
So
yeah, that is a long time actually.
yeah, it's been a long time. I guess I had COVID one year, so not
Mhm.
like COVID was happening one year.
Yes.
So,
Well, you made it out, which is good.
yeah.
With lots of money to spare. Hmm, when I am on campus and I need to get food, I try to like make sure it's no, I don't think I'm budgeting on campus either, right? I think I just get whatever. I think this is probably the best thing for now. I hate lines though. I think that like every morning or afternoon I go to campus and I'm like, I don't know why you would want Tim Hortons this bad. That's a long time to wait to get one coffee. I'd rather I'm just gonna go. I'll just drink some water. Um, my favorite thing though is when the spoke line is really long, but it's only for the spoke cafe, and then I walk in and I see that the like spoke kitchen line is like empty. So I just go there and get like fries, and it's nice
Uh-huh.
because I'm not gonna die for a bagel. I'll get something else. It's easy.
Yeah.
Bagels aren't even that cheap, and so it's like I might as well get fries or something.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Where's your favorite place to eat on campus?
The Grad Club, I
Me
think.
too. Oh my
It's
God.
it's
Same.
such a fun little cozy environment, and it's like it's it's usually quiet. It's usually like just a fun little spot. They have booths that are like, well, they're just booths. I like booths. Booths are nice. It's it's a fun little spot. I don't I don't even really drink that often, so it's not like I'm going there to use the bar, but like it's a nice little ambiance if it's there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see your profs sometimes. I think my TA
Yeah.
sometimes.
I see my TAs there all the time, like, ah, you doing here? And it's meant for master students, and they're like, I'm just hiding out. I feel like they don't really like seeing undergrads there, but simultaneously their crisscross fries are really good. So I'm not gonna like not go.
Exactly. But also we're like upper year students. So like
Yeah.
come on.
I could pass for a first year master student, I think.
Well, I don't know if I can, but um
You can just say you got an early acceptance or something.
sure. Okay. I'll say that next time. If they
Yeah.
um, yeah, but I also love the grad club. Actually, their breakfast. I go
Yeah.
last
Breakfast.
semester, I was there like at least once a week for breakfast.
I did not know they had breakfast at the Grad Club. Go in the afternoon usually.
It's
What-
so also it's cheap. I just gotta say, it's like cheaper than if you were going to go to like I think the portions are big. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like if you
Oh,
get the value meal or I don't even know what the value breakfast or something. Is that what it's called? I can't remember.
I've never been. I'm really. It sounds nice. I might check it out. Hmm.
Please do. Their breakfast is
I'm worried that you should be gatekeeping this because otherwise, like, what if it gets flooded like tomorrow and then not
okay, but
tomorrow?
who's gonna wake up before 11?
Yeah, that's really fair. That's really fair.
Yeah, when I'm there, it's usually like me, my friend, and like two other strangers. So
Solid. Well, if you're listening to this and you tend to wake up before 11, which is unlikely, check out the Grad Club for the breakfast options. I'm sure they'll have a lovely food for you.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that covers all of our little adulting session.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll get finish this assignment and then hopefully get to my taxes at some point this week or weekend.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, yes,
Okay.
I will definitely get my taxes done. I'm in the process of getting it done. So
Yeah. Hit up your accountant and tell him what's up. Give him all the forms, all the receipts.
yeah, I literally did that today. So
Great job. Great job.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to the Voice of the Western podcast. You've been your hosts, Rose and Emmanuel. Feel free to follow the Humans of Western Instagram account at humans of underscore Western, on TikTok, Humans of Western, as well as our YouTube, Humans of Western, and make sure to check out Voices of Western on all podcast platforms. Thanks for listening and have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.